Good afternoon and welcome to today's webcast, where I'm delighted to be joined by the co-founder and CEO of the Goli Vada Pav chain, Venkatesh Iyer. Venki, many thanks indeed for being with us today.
I had a great time at IMD today.
Great, well I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're delighted that you've come all this way from India to be with us. For those of our viewers who are probably not familiar or may not be familiar with your business, let's start right at the very beginning. How did the idea for the Goli business come about?
See, I always wanted to do a Indian brand amongst daily consumption. Most of the daily consumptions are done by transnational multinationals who are there. And somehow I felt, can there be an Indian brand amongst daily consumption? Somehow most of the place was occupied. And one day the CEO of Kellogg's, who was my neighbor, he left Kellogg's after 10 years and he went abroad. So somewhere in his send-off party, I asked him, he muttered somewhere indirectly, whatever happens, the Indian consumer, he will wear a Ray-Ban sunglasses, he may have a cross pen, he may have shoes which is imported, but when it comes to food, we Indians have a weakness for spicy Indian food. I saw this as a great opportunity, 100 crores plus population with a weakness for spicy Indian food, and even 50 crore population which we target, and they start consuming 110 rupee Goli Vada Pav. It becomes a 500 crore opportunity. 10 times in a year they consume, it becomes a 5,000 crore opportunity. So I think that's 50 billion market. That's such a huge market size.
So you saw an opportunity based on the spicy food consumption. So maybe just for people who may not understand the full business, help us understand what your business is actually about. What are you selling? Who are you selling it to?
See, we make Vada Pav. Vada Pav is basically an Indian burger. So a burger is basically anything between buns. A Vada Pav is anything between pav. Pav is an Indian bun. And this is spicy, our Indian product, that is a Vada Pav. A burger is non-spicy. A burger is mayonnaise, we are chutney. So roughly this is what our product is. The consumption in Mumbai is basically the local people, and people who are on the move keep on eating it day in, day out. We have moved and taken Vada Pav beyond Mumbai to interior Maharashtra, where Vada Pav was not available. We have also taken Vada Pav to other parts of the country, that is south of India, where Vada Pav was not available. And we see that 70% of our consumption is youth. So something below the age of 27 to 15. 15 to 27 is our prime.
So people listening to that, they might be surprised and say, we understand the need or the desire for spicy food, but in Mumbai, where there are people on every street corner selling spicy food, what made you think that you could compete with them by doing something, I guess, more organized, more consolidated, but effectively putting yourself in competition with millions of street vendors? That might seem counterintuitive to some people.
See, what happened, I never thought it as a Mumbai product. Whenever we consumed Goli Vada Pav, we thought it as a national, and tomorrow maybe an international. Mm-hmm. Something like what a multinational thinks, a large need. And when we conceived this, definitely in Mumbai there is a huge amount of competition from the local unorganized segment, but the unorganized segment are still not able to do a lot of things which an organized player like us can do. Imagine we having 500 stores. We'll buy potatoes, gram, oil and wheat, the raw materials, for 500 stores. Our volume would be huge. The price at which we will buy will be something fantastic. So we'll get the advantage of bulk buying. The same way, when we do marketing for all these 500 stores, the marketing budget will be for 500 stores, the print, whatever pamphlet we print, whatever media we use. So there will be bulk buying of media will also be cheaper for us. So this no local player will be able to do. Plus in terms of advantage, ours will be machine made, ours will be quality, hygiene, which is not there in the Indian street food. The Indian street food is spicy and tasty, but hygiene and standardization is not there. You're at risk for your stomach.
Okay, so that seemed like a very interesting niche. You've talked a little bit about the organization, the bulk buying, the hygiene. Tell us a little bit more about how did you go about setting the business up? What were the different steps?
First is I'm a little bit of storyteller, so I have to write everything. So for 2-3 years I used to write this, tear it away. When I was doing my financial services business before I did it. So this was actually documented very beautifully, and a lot of things which was felt theoretical used to be torn away. As I started progressing in the place, we identified people who could help us set the first kitchen. So there was a chef who came from the US who was used to the hygiene and cleanliness standards of the American way of cooking. An Indian who has spent more than 10-15 years in a cruise liner. We also had a team which was working locally in a local canteen and making spicy Indian food, but they were not used to bulk production and they were not used to hygiene standards the way it was. So we married the hygiene standards from the American way and we brought in the local taste. So the people came in first, and along with the people we identify a locality where we'll start our first business. That was a suburb of Mumbai where the rentals were low. We also identified a central kitchen. We also identified a logistic van. So the basics or the foundations of this business were put. Chart wise, I had created a core team and there were departmentals done, like a typical multinational. The vendor management department was one person, but there was a vendor management. There was a franchisee management, one person, but he used to manage franchisee. Mm-hmm. There was a kitchen management, one person used to head it. There was accounts and finance separately done by somebody else. So we had these heads in whatever position they would from the core team. Mm-hmm. We had the team in place, we had the local region in place, and the business had to start.
And what were the biggest challenges you faced at the beginning of your business?
Yeah, when we started the business, it was beautiful. The moment the consumer saw that Goli Vada Pav banner in a crowded location, crowd started thronging. From one store, we moved to 10 stores. But as we moved to 10 stores, the challenges started posing. Wastage was our biggest issue. Mm-hmm. We used to supply, say, 5,000 golis to all our franchisee stores. At the end of the day, some 1,000 golis used to get waste because the product didn't have a shelf life. Sometimes it used to be 1,000, sometimes it would be 2,000. So wastage was eating into our profitability and also was affecting our brand because it was not technologically done, it was manually done, the entire product. Second was pilferage. We used to make golis and send to our franchisees 500 or 1,000. They used to make 2 golis out of one, 2 patties out of one, and this was pilferage, again damaging the brand and damaging the finances. Third was non-standardization. As the mood of the cook changed or the chef changed in the kitchen, the taste used to change. So these are the kind of issues that we started facing. And then we also faced price fluctuations. The raw material prices used to go, but the finished goods products or the consumer's price never used to. So we used to get squeezed in between. Mm-hmm. How do you handle it? So at this juncture, we started working on various technologies. I tried the ultraviolet rays, the way Amul in India uses, or most probably Nestle uses here, to kill bacteria or microbiotes. I tried a technology which was the I would say the Lays and Bingos use, Pringles, nitrogen gas chambers, all locally done with engineers. The third was a blood bank technology, blast chill. So started working on technologies, but somehow I was thinking that we were trying to reinvent the wheel when already there were successful companies which had done it. And by this time I had lost a lot of money in all these technologies, but yet I had not found a concrete solution for wastages and pilferages and supply chain. That's when I started hunting around for technology partners, and I bumped into a company called Vista Foods in India, which were making patties for McDonald's in India. And they have a parent company called OSI, which has got 33 plants all over the world, and they had more than 50 years experience. So the first challenge was a material challenge. So
that partnership that you made then, that addressed, it sounds like it addressed most of the challenges. What about the pilferage? Is that something, how did you eradicate that?
See, the product is done in a fully automatic plant. So the product has got a 9-month shelf life. It's hard solid like a stone. The moment you put it in a fryer and fry it, it becomes a patty, soft patty. So nobody can break it. And it's gram coated. So nobody can tamper with it. Okay. So wastage was gone and pilferage was gone. Because it is done by machine and computerized, every product tastes the same, standardized. So street food got American technology.
Okay. So you were able to address those challenges pretty successfully. Your business has been scaling, and it is a highly scalable business. You mentioned before that you wanted a national business, but maybe an international or multinational business. Can we expect to see Goli in other countries?
Yeah, the first focus is right now we are at 148 stores. And we are present in South India, we are present in Western India, we are just entering Northern India. I see at least 500 stores basic across India. Once we are able to do that, there are inquiries from Middle East, with a lot of Indian population, Singapore and UK and US. So we'll definitely cater to this population.
And do you think there will be different challenges setting up your business in different countries in comparison with India?
Yeah, everywhere you go, the business, because the world is very dynamic, it's changing also every day. So to a large extent, the solutions has to be region specific. Like what solution I found for Western India was different from what solution I found for Southern India. The product was same, but localization in terms of how you address those issues, logistics has to be there.
And what about the Goli brand? So as you expand and you move into other countries, I guess your brand will become more and more important. What is your marketing strategy? You talked a little bit about buying up media before, but what is your marketing strategy?
See, as of now, till the time we didn't have raised money, the media used to cover us on a regular basis because it was a very interesting local story that helped us. I went upon giving talks at various management institutions to popularize that even vada pav can become a brand. Otherwise, it's street food, no? Nobody looks at it. It's the poor man's food. So we use various ways like talks, then the media covered us, and then we use social media to a large extent. And the word of mouth, YouTube, Google kept us giving franchises. But from here, we have to be more standardized format. We have to address marketing. One core theme has been food sells because it comes from a specific region, especially in India. Like if you say pizza, people picture as Italy. Mm-hmm. If you say burger, people picture as America. So to a large extent, food sells because they see whether it's coming from the right source, authenticity. So vada pav comes from Mumbai. So somehow we are tagged that Mumbai along with us everywhere. That is the Bombay. So our marketing strategy has to be to a large extent right now which we are using is Mumbai. And the target is also the youth, because India is multiple countries in itself. And within this country, when we are going, it's not that vada pav is being consumed in Tamil Nadu and other states the way it is consumed in Mumbai. So the youth is the one who is ready to accept change or try new food. So, and they are on digital media. So again, we'll use the digital media to a large extent to address the youth, the communication channels.
And what about your price point? So I guess if you're focusing on the youth population, they may not be the population with the highest disposable income. How did you determine your price point, and how does your price point compare with those local street vendors that we mentioned before?
See, in Maharashtra, where vada pav is popular and all, we have kept a specific pricing. We have converted India in such a way that Western region we have a specific price point. The Southern India is again a separate country. We have a specific price point. The Northern India will address it a specific price point based on our cost, logistic cost and other things. But at the same time, we take precaution that whatever local street food is available, we are on par with it. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't price ourselves above the street food in any specific region. So suppose there is a local street food in Bangalore which you call idli or dosa available at 20 rupees. Our price point for our basic products will be at 20 rupees.
Okay, so in fact, those local street vendors are determining the price for you?
To a large extent. We as entry level want to take care of that.
Okay. And do you have additional incremental, so when I go and I buy my 20 rupee product, are you charging me, are there additional markup incremental revenues to be had by additional services or that you provide?
What we do is that we have varieties of vada pav now. So one basic product in southern India is at 20 rupees, say suppose. Then the second product will be at 25 rupees. It's a mixed vegetable vada pav. The third is a corn spinach vada pav, which will be at 30 rupees. Then we have a product at 35 rupees. So between 20 and 35 we have products in southern India. In Maharashtra we have between 15 and 30. Mm-hmm. So like that we keep it. And the boys are trained in such a way that they have to sell a good mix of the products. Okay. So our revenues are. Then there are liquid sales, like the colas. Then there is odd drink like tea and coffee. Mm-hmm. That all adds to that.
So you mentioned before you've got a very, from a hygiene point of view, very strict process and x-raying and all the things that you mentioned before. But I guess no system is completely perfect. So in the unlikely event that something may go wrong, there may be some food, health, safety issues we see in Western companies here. When there's a health scare, it has a huge impact on the brand. People stop buying. It creates a lot of negative press. What is your strategy for dealing with the day you may, hopefully you won't, but the day you might run into a food health issue?
See, one of the core is, first of all, the process and system has to be very good. So right now we are working on the processes in a very detailed way, training, audit. Besides that, if the accident happens, our PR machinery and our legal team has to be very, very strong. That has to be, so we have started building on our legal team. Once we faced a small crisis, the legal team was into frame. So PR and legal has to be ready for it. We shouldn't start the work after the calamity has happened.
Okay, so you're proactively looking into
We'll
that
have to
now.
look at, address issues.
And how do you face up with competitors like Jumbo King? How do you differentiate yourself from them?
See, what is happening is that we are present in a market which is interior Maharashtra, where there are hardly any competitors. No organized player has come there. We are also gone into markets like Karnataka, where we have substantial stores. Again, there is no competitors there. So we have gone into places where Vada Pav, even on the street, was not available. We have gone into markets where Vada Pav's organized player was also not available. So Mumbai is a place where Vada Pav is available on the street, and then there are one or two organized players. Besides, when you go to interior Maharashtra, looking at us, the competitors have started coming up now, especially in western Maharashtra. One or two small local players who want to build a brand like Goli.
And what is your strategy to deal with those? So if there is going to be increased competition, perhaps, how are you going to deal with those? What are your barriers to entry?
See, one thing is that through technology, our product is so standardized and we can supply anywhere in India. Any local guy comes, he won't be able to supply the product besides 10 kilometers because the product is perishable. Then he has to create multiple kitchens, which again is costly, very exorbitant. So for us, through the product, we have standardized it so beautifully that a competitor will be able to come and do it only in his local 10 kilometer radius. With a central kitchen, he will supply fresh products to refrigeration chain. The second thing is that as we move and more number of stores goes up, today we are at 150 stores. Suppose there is a specific region, there is 10 stores and a local competitor is there. We may also play with the pricing. We may do a pricing strategy wherein our profits may come from a different region where the pricing is good, but in a specific region for 6 months, we may do some amount of pricing game so that the competitor and business is attracted towards us.
Okay, so you believe that your process is difficult to copy?
It's a technology-based business as of now. There are very few people with that kind of machinery to build this kind of product as of now for Vada Pav category.
Okay, and the other strategy will be playing with price to effectively squeeze other competitors out of the market.
Yeah. One basic thing I still believe is, as a typical my philosophy, if you focus on your business, your product and your consumer, you don't have to much worry about competition. Competition is there. To a large extent, when you play a cricket game, you should focus on your ball rather than the ball which somebody else is playing. They are required 10% focus or 15%, but 80% is if you keep on improving on your product and give better quality to your consumer and better service.
So what do you see then as the next big challenge for Goli?
Yes, we have been a great inspiration and we explored this business and created 150 stores. Now is operation. There is exploration, there is operations. I would like to give this example. When the Britishers built the colony, before that the Portugal and the Spanish people came to India. The Portugal people came to India, Vasco da Gama. The Spanish people went to South America. They created colonies, but they couldn't rule it for a long time. The Britishers came and built up a great administrative system, because of which they could build colonies. The same with Alexander. He conquered India but couldn't sustain. The Romans came, not to India, but they sustained. So exploration is required as an entrepreneur constantly, but operation is also very, very important. So it's a good balance between exploration and operation. So we have to focus more on operation in the coming few years.
And in concrete terms, what does that mean, to focus more on operations?
Operation is people process.
Okay.
You collect concerns from your customer and you have a specific sales target desired, and there is a current level. And why does a consumer move from this sales to this place? More consumer doesn't come. The key factor would be you will have certain concerns. The concerns may be the store is not clean. The concern may be the boys' service is not good. The concern may be the local bun is not up to the mark. The concern may be he is expecting something at a specific price point. If we can, on a day-to-day basis, weekly basis and monthly basis, address his concerns and keep on working on the quality of the training of the boys, cleaning of the stores and product standardization, the local power and all, I think consumer will come back to you. Then it is marketing. Product, packaging, and then perception. We should work on the product, then on the design of the store, packaging. Third is the advertising.
Okay. And what kind of training and development procedures do you have in place for your people?
Okay, we have an induction program right now. So whenever a franchisee comes, we run him through a 2-day induction program at our HO. Then there is a training department which does camps in every region. The cluster manager in every region also comes to our head office. We train them, like training the trainer. So through training the trainer, the training happens, plus also training camps in every region for all the store manager and the franchisee. But the training is basically how to fry. The training is basically how to cut a pav, that is a packaging. So we have a frying station, we have a packaging station, we have a CRM station, we have a cleanliness agenda. Then we also have a franchisee training. So these are the kind of training programs that we are running.
And do you have someone who circulates to examine the stores? Do you have mystery shoppers? Do you how do you how do you check what's going on?
So we have an outsourced audit agency. We also have mystery shoppers, and then third we have our own cluster managers and people from HO who go and do the sales. The person who is responsible for sales for that region.
Okay. And in your business, what makes an ideal franchisee? Who's the best? What's the best kind of profile where you say that person would make a great franchisee for us?
See, as of now, from what we have seen, a typical franchisee in India, what has happened? A lot of FMCG has come in the past. Like if it can take the Colgate-Palmolive, the Unilevers, the Nestle. They have built up this entire FMCG business in the last 40, 50, 60 years in India, and their products have gone every door in every small village. It's a great distribution channel they all developed. And when they developed through all these distributors in small towns, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities. Now, those people suddenly, there's businesses are established, all these FMCG giants. They give their dealers maybe most probably 3 to 4% margin, 3%. Now, when these people with this experience of 10 to 15 years or 30 years in this FMCG business, they understand the local area very well. They understand the rentals very well. They also understand the consumer in that locality very well. So when we identify them, some of them are franchisees, some of them are master franchisees. We offer a 35% margin to these people, from 3 to 35%. So these FMCG people who have already got into the local business are the right franchisees for us.
Okay. So what advice then, maybe to finish off today, for multinational organizations who would like to get into the fast food business in India? What advice would you have for them?
One beautiful thing is that the multinational people already have the technology and the processing system in place. They will have to come with something that can connect with the Indian consumer. One thing is that there are some companies which said that we are a multinational company and this is what our product profile is, and they come and they stand by it. They are also doing very well. There are some people most probably will have to indigenize and make it the local taste, understand the local market, or even partner with small companies like us to understand the local. A few American companies already started talking to us because we are already 150 stores and they may be only 300, 500 stores in US, but if they want to enter India, they want to have companies like us too.
So maybe one last more personal question. So when I see you talking today, you seem very relaxed and calm. There's a lot going on in your business. It's going well. The stores are increasing. You're setting up training systems. Everything seems to be moving in a very positive direction. What keeps you awake at night? What are the worries that you might have about the business?
See, the worry used to be in the past when we had not raised money, when we had not grown up to 150 stores. One thing is that long term, how do you protect the brand? That keeps on. There can be issues in every nook and corner of the country where a consumer is consuming the product. How do you see to it that every consumer is happy? We have a mental picture of what should be the experience of a particular consumer at the store level. Is it happening as per that standards? So at every level, from street food we are going to a level, but to make it that beautiful, wonderful brand which will last beyond our lifetime, there's a lot of work to be done.
And what would you like your legacy to be? So you talk about leaving the brand beyond a lifetime. What would you like your legacy to be in 5 and 10 years? What would you like people to be saying about the Goli brand?
So it should be known as one of those most successful ethnic brands in India first. and then across the globe.
Venki, thank you very much for coming to IMD, for sharing your story with us today. We wish you, of course, lots of success moving forward as your business grows and becomes more national and also more international. Lots of success in the future. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.